VR or virtual reality is all the rage. But for it to really take off, you have to have great content. So today we're talking to Denny from Cloudhead Games. He's the CEO. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Denny, this is the first time I've tried virtual reality headset. This is the HTC Vive.
That's correct, yeah.
And I heard a lot of great stuff about it, and I just played your game, and I have to say, wow, man, it is amazing.
That's great. I'm glad you had that first experience. Yeah.
And so, how did you get into this whole industry?
I was one of those geeky VR garage hackers. I did the bad VR of the 90s, the kind that didn't work with the bad field of view and low latency, or bad latency, I should say. I met Palmer Luckey about 5 years ago, the fellow who founded Oculus, and I got the very earliest development kits, and I started developing from there. And when things really took off, I realized that was a great time to get into developing content for the platform.
Well, it is like starting to take off.
Yeah.
You know, virtual. Everyone's talking about it. Of course, we know that Facebook purchased Oculus Rift. They really believe that's the future of computing. But you know what? The proof's in the pudding, because I just played your game and it was amazing.
I'm glad you feel that way. We've worked really hard to incorporate a number of systems that make it feel comfortable and intuitive. So watching you play was a good validation of that. Yeah.
Well, like you have right here now. What are you holding in your hand right now? These are basically the controllers, right?
Yeah. So this is the second Vive dev kit before launch. Essentially, these are very close to final commercial controllers. They're hand ones, essentially. They very precise tracking, very simple button input, and you just kind of reach out and interact in a natural way.
I think as someone that makes games, you really get a kick out of seeing people play it for the first time. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's great. I like telling people to lay down, because you can do that for the first time in a game, you know? Lay down in the tent and look at the stars.
Well, you know what? Speaking of which, I want to get my friend Jillian. Jillian, if you could just come over here. Now, I love to get someone that's never tried this before, and let's put it on and see what it entails.
Sure.
Jillian, why don't you just come over here?
So I'll show you the controllers first, just so you get a handle on that.
Okay.
So there's one button you really got to worry about, and that's grab, right? So that's the trigger. And you're going to use this left thumb pad when you have your left hand, and it's basically just a giant button, and that's how you're going to locomote. That's how you're going to move through the space. And it's
basically sort of like circle it around.
You
like
don't. No, you just hold it down.
Just hold it down.
Basically, it's going to project out a reticle in front of you, and wherever your head looks is where that's going to go. And when you let go of that button, your entire physical volume is going to shift to that spot. So you can physically walk around this entire space, but then you can locomote and push your space deeper into the virtual world with a system we call Blink. Yeah.
Now, Jillian, have you ever tried a virtual reality headset before?
I have, but apparently not as good as this.
Hey, have you tried the HTC Vive? Have you tried this?
I haven't tried the HTC Vive.
Well, you, my friend, are in for a treat. Let's get this on, Denny.
Yeah, I'm just going to take these.
Let's go on this virtual reality journey.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll get this on and comfy for you. Obviously,
Now you don't have to go on vacations. You can do virtual reality vacations, Jillian.
No, I'm just, that's it. My entire vacation budget is going into buying the HTC Vive and this game.
Now, Denny, how long did it take you to make this game?
well, honestly, it's been in development for about 3 years, building the sort of primary systems to deal with locomotion, like how do you move around in VR, how do you make that feel comfortable, and then how do you interact in a natural way with your hands. So a lot of hard work and R&D has gone into making those systems feel good. So really that was the crux of the issue for us. And then building content on top of that took another 1.5 years, and here we are today.
So Denny, what kind of price points do you have when you're creating games like this in the virtual reality world?
Price points in terms of what the consumer can expect, between $20 and $30. It really depends on how long the experience is. The interesting thing about designing games for VR is that it takes a lot more work to drive in the little details, that all the expected interactions that you would want to have. So there is a lot of time spent in making those things feel good.
Are we seeing more and more gaming companies getting into the virtual reality games?
Yes, it's a bit of a slow adoption curve because they're waiting to prove out the market, of course.
Do I have to do all these?
Yeah, we might have to move out of her volume because she can't see it.
She is completely in another dimension. She doesn't even know where she's going.
Excuse me, guys. I'm busy here. Don't disturb me. Gosh. They won't let me out of the tutorial until I do some...
I think I'm going to get beat up here by Jillian.
Are you okay?
Now, Denny,
Careful, Andy, where are you?
Denny, before we watch Jillian here, if people want to get more information about what you're doing, where can they go?
So they can go to thegallerygame.com. So this is a 4-part release. The first episode is the Gallery Call of the Starseed. It's basically like a Goonies action adventure. It's very highly accessible and it's meant to be a fun first VR experience.
Well, I can tell you right now, she is having a lot of fun. If you are interested in virtual reality, you gotta try it out. It's just about basically for everybody, and it's really quick to learn. So check it out. And your website again?
So thegallerygame.com.
Gallerygame.com. Check it out. Denny, thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care.